Hello and welcome to Upbeat Updates, good news from neighbors we know. I'm Yvonne Morrison, your host with MVP Video and Promotions. With us today is Tami Kress, and Tami is the founder and artistic director at Studio One in Burlington. Tami and her family came to North Carolina from Idaho, where she earned her master's degree in theater from Idaho State University, where she also taught drama. She is executive director of Studio One, where she teaches theater to enthusiastic students of all ages. Tami has directed over 100 productions and performed in over 40. Tami, welcome to Upbeat Updates.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So what brought you to Alamance County and inspired you to open Studio One in Burlington?
So my husband's job is what originally brought us here. We were at a crossroads in our life, and I'd recently lost both my parents, who were my best friends, and we had an opportunity to move out here, and we kind of seized that opportunity when I was in labor with my second child. So
Wow.
it was kind of a spontaneous decision, right? But it was the best decision ever. I've just loved it out here. It's been great. It has everything that I love to do and love the people, love the Southern hospitality and charm and quirks and everything about it. And so it was really a great move for us. What inspired Studio One is kind of a complicated story, but when I first got here, I got involved with the Arts Council with Carrie Worthy, and I just started volunteering immediately with all of the Arts Council programming, started directing for local groups, and the culture that I came from is a city, Pocatello, Idaho, is very similar to Burlington, but it had 4 or 5 really strong theater groups in it. And here there was 1, 2 on the outlying, on the outskirts, all doing very similar type theater. And so I just really felt like there was a need for education and more fringe type performances, non-traditional, smaller musicals, straight plays, Shakespeare. There was just a lot of opportunities that were being missed with really talented people in the area. And so I started teaching voice and piano and theater classes at my clubhouse. And then we started doing show choir there, and then we started doing plays there. And really within 2 years, we just outgrew the clubhouse in my community. And so then we started looking, and Studio One was born in a building. My friend Tim Brown helped me get that all started. And we're heading into our 14th season now.
Wow.
So
That's great.
It was exciting and wonderful, and just the growth and the progress and the people that have come on board and the people that I've had the opportunity to meet and work with has just been life-changing.
That sounds exciting. I mean, to bring a vision of what you wanted to do, and then see it to fruition, and all the things that you're doing now to help our area.
So lucky.
So was the business community and the public in general welcoming to your business?
So it was a lot of belly-to-belly work, especially at first, because I was an outsider. I was brand new. People didn't know who I was, didn't know my skills, didn't know my personality. And so it was a lot of belly-to-belly work of working with other groups and working with other people and gaining trust. And there were certainly more difficult times than others, convincing people that the arts are important, convincing people that more than one arts group can absolutely thrive, convincing people that I was not an outsider, that I was invested and had roots here and wasn't going anywhere. So it was a journey for sure. But I think because of that journey, it's a strong organization, right? It didn't just kind of boom and explode and had this easy beginning that just kind of rode its way through. That was not the case. It slowly grew, it slowly progressed, it slowly gained momentum, and the right people just seemed to be placed in my path when I needed them to help progress and move forward. And so it's been a journey, but it's been very, very exciting. And since I know we're going to talk about this in a minute, especially post-COVID and post taking over Snow Camp Outdoor Theater, we're really at tables that we weren't at before, which has been really exciting and ingrained us very strongly into the community.
So what made you decide to take over operations for the Snow Camp Outdoor Theater, and what do you have planned this year?
So my friend Debbie was on the board and acted out there. I don't know if she's on the board, but she acted out there with her son for years and years. And she and I would kind of follow along everything that was happening out there. And I'd been out to see a few shows. And it had been abandoned for a few years. And she said, hey, let's go just check it out, right? It's like, okay, let's go check it out. So we walked through this 13 acres of beautiful abandoned land. There was 30 feet bamboo growing out of buildings, and
wow.
there were 42 buildings on the property. It was a mess. It was a mess. But I got to the end of it and I'm like, yep, we're going to save this.
Oh,
like
wow.
It just felt special. It was exciting. It was unique. It was unbelievable that this group of people, the friends got together and said, hey, we're going to tell our story in this 350 seat amphitheater on 13 acres in the middle of nowhere in South Alamance County. That's exciting and gutsy. And I just felt like it needed to be saved and retold and supported again. And I really felt strongly that an organization needed to take it over because it was such an undertaking. And we had a board and we had resources and we had that kind of ability. I felt like I had the bandwidth at the time. And so it just became something that we felt like we could do for the community and the county. So that's what brought it on. And we're starting our second season now. We took it over during COVID. We've had it for 4 years now. It'll be 5 years this summer, right? But the first 3 years were just infrastructure. Right. I mean, when we took it over, again, there was bamboo everywhere. The septic system had collapsed. The bathrooms weren't functional. Like it was crazy. It wasn't even starting at zero. It was starting at like negative 100 because there was so much that had to be done just to even get us to a semi-slate to start. And so we took the first 3 years and a small band of mighty warriors that really helped get it to the point. So last year we had our first season. This is our second season. We just finished Sword of Peace 2 weekends ago. And then this summer we're doing Tarzan the musical.
Fun.
And we're doing Taming of the Shrew for our Shakespeare production. And then in this fall in October we're doing The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Oh, that'll be fun. And having a big kind of spooky fall festival surrounding that. So
that'll be great.
Very exciting.
I remember going to the snow camp drama site as a kid with my dad, going to, they'd be just stirring the big pots of molasses, I guess, or cane, and sugar cane, and, going to see the plays out there. And so when it fell into disrepair, I'm sure a lot of people felt like I did. Wow, that place is too great to let it just fall into nothing. So we really appreciate you guys doing that and taking that over so we can all come and enjoy it again.
Thank you.
It is a lovely site.
Thank you.
How do you run Studio One and the drama site all at the same time?
I am surrounded by amazing people. I have 4 boards, right?
Oh, wow.
I have 4 boards so I mean, that is an army of like 58 people right there who just do amazing work. They are amazing people. They have a heart for what they do. They're willing to catch on to the vision and become part of the vision and contribute to the vision. So that is absolutely why I'm able to do anything, is because of my boards and the people that surround them and the volunteers that we have. It takes an army just to do a single simple production, right? Yeah. It takes just an army to do it. And then to add everything else on and all the service that we do and all of the side-by-side productions that we do and projects and everything, it's an army.
It's a dedicated one.
It is.
They all believe in what you're doing.
Right. So. And they see how important it is to the community, how important it is to the people that are involved, how important it is to tourism, how important it is to the county. Like there's so much more. Even people that aren't involved in the arts are important because it's part of a flourishing, thriving community, right?
Why is that? What does live theater contribute, especially to people who've never experienced it before?
So it's a piece of life that is so important to a certain group of people, right? So this is what I explain to people who aren't in the arts. Think of what slice of life is important to you. Do you like to golf? Then golf courses are important to you. It's important to you that they're available, that they're maintained, that there's carts available, that there's accessibility. Are sports important to you? It's important to you that there's courts, that there's ballparks, that there's fields, that Parks and Rec maintain them, that there's, our family is important to you. It's important that we have the pool. And, just think of what slice is important to your family, right? Well, that slice is important to a very large demographic of people. And in order to have a thriving, flourishing community, you need to have all those slices of the pie, right? You have to have that.
Absolutely.
And this is another metaphor. It's not a metaphor. When I taught high school, my husband was the principal. And I always said the most important class he promoted and required that we teach was fly fishing. And people used to laugh at that,
That
right?
is awesome.
And I said, you can teach kids math and science and whatever other core classes you want to teach them. But if you give them a hobby that they're going to use the rest of their life, that's what's life-changing, right?
Yes.
Not that everything else is not important. Sorry, math teachers, I'm not saying you're not important. But I think that is such an important thing. It's stress relief. It's self-esteem. It's a way to get away, to connect. And so
Especially be out in nature,
right,
that particular hobby, yeah.
I just believe very strongly that needs to be promoted in our culture, and the arts are part of that, right?
Yeah,
so that we have that kind of release or expression or way to get away or thing that can help us tell stories or motivate people. It just has so many avenues to it. And then all of that, our ticket sales are, we can prove where our audience comes from because of zip codes. Mm-hmm. And over 50% of our ticket sales are from out of Alamance County.
Wow.
So that's tourism, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're coming and buying gas and
eating at the restaurants before or after the show.
At Snow Camp, we have this guy from Tennessee who was in the original shows. He comes and stays the whole weekend for the shows and comes and sees all of them, right?
That is so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So even an economic impact is really strong from the arts too.
So in this role, what have you found that has surprised you or maybe that you didn't know before?
I love how people are so willing to become something bigger than themselves, right? Like, not many people get that opportunity. And I always tell my kids that I'm teaching, and my adults, but I tell my kids that I'm teaching, you get to have this experience that many people never experience in their lives. And becoming part of something bigger than yourselves, you have to make sacrifices. You have to sacrifice time, you have to sacrifice sleep, you have to sacrifice your resources. You have to make sacrifice. You have to leave your problems at the door, and sometimes they're pretty big, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to make all those sacrifices when you step in the door because you've committed to this group of people to help create something bigger than yourself. Now, that's my life. I've always been involved in that. Mm-hmm. But to see so many people catch that vision and understand that and make those sacrifices is inspiring and surprising and wonderful to me all at the same time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I hear that there are exciting plans to possibly convert First Christian United Church in downtown Burlington to a cultural arts center. That sounds so exciting. What is the latest news on that project and how would it proceed?
So we are just dipping our toe in this, right? We're just starting. This Thursday is the open house for people to come and look and discuss and talk. And we're not in any kind of final negotiations or anything. It's time to look and start talking about possibilities. And the church is just beautiful and stunning and recognizable and part of downtown and has so many pluses that would be a great possibility for a cultural arts center. So that's where we're starting, was the open house Thursday. We hope lots and lots of people will come and support us. And that visibility, it's what's going to make a difference of who can get on board to help support it beyond just the artists, right? So we need people to show up Thursday to express an interest, to express support, to say we do need this in our community, to see where it goes. Even if it's not this building, I don't know what that answer is, right? We can't make any commitments at this point with any of it. Right. But it's very, very exciting to be something I've dreamed about for a long time and worked towards, and just some really great people have shown up with the same passion the last couple of years. So
I can't wait.
It is very exciting.
Yeah. It's just around the corner from our office here in downtown Burlington. Right. So yeah, we could just trip on over. And
it's so needed. You think of all the arts groups and there's just, we have the Paramount, which is fantastic and they do great things. But that's the only public performing space in town besides ours. And we fill ours with our own programming. Mm-hmm. So it would just be a boon for dance groups, private schools, art galleries, museums. That's a big part of it. We want to get a Burlington museum going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
that's exciting.
Could be part of it, right? Because it's all part of that cultural arts movement that we have this really great group working towards. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't wait to hear about that. Great. So what advice would you give to someone who is contemplating opening a business in creative or performing arts in our area?
So I would just say you have to be in the trenches. It's not a situation where you can expect to bring people in and make assignments and work 9 to 5 and have a traditional kind of looking job. Like, that is not what it's about. You have to be in the trenches. That's what people be like, so what do you do as the director of Studio One? And I'm like, I clean the toilets. That's
Everything.
What I do.
I do everything.
That's what I do, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to do everything. But that doesn't mean you have to do it all, right?
By yourself, right.
So that's a really important thing. But you have to be in the trenches. You have to be shoulder to shoulder with people. You have to be willing to do those public events, you know, like Carousel Festival, Dogwood Festival, and Father's Day Festival. Like, there's all kinds of things you have to be willing to do. And sometimes you'll bring in 20 people, and sometimes one person will stop at your booth, right? And that's just part of it.
Part of starting a business.
Part of it, you know? And you have to be willing to listen to people and be humble. That's, I think, super important, because I can have all the ideas I want of what I think the community needs and what I'm going to bring to the community and but if the community doesn't want it and they don't show up, then my opinion really doesn't matter, right? So I think you have to be humble and really listen to people and work shoulder to shoulder with them to create whatever you want to create.
It sounds like and appears that the community here loves what you're doing, supports what you're doing. They come out to see it, participate, help, and to watch it flourish. And that is such a great thing for our community. It really is.
So blessed,
blessed. You're an asset, along with your boards and all your performers, and we so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tami, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Upbeat Updates. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the website at the bottom of your screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.